very good morning to all of you children. Welcome to the biology class. Children, in the last class, we have discussed about the functioning of the heart. Any problem, anyone?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Is, was it clear?
No, ma'am.
Have you understood it properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, as I have told you in the last class that we were talking about the heartbeat and some points related to the heart, some important terms related to the heart. So, we were talking about the high blood pressure, the hypertension, isn't it? So, quickly come to page number
Yes, ma'am.
128. Yes. Page number 128. We'll be talking about the hypertension. Did you understood regarding the device sphygmomanometer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so hypertension or high blood pressure, that is HBP, is a common term these days. And today, like as I told you that day, that nowadays we see a lot of people suffering from high blood pressure. Yes, hypertension
Ma'am?
occurs when our blood pressure, the force of your blood pushing against the wall of your blood vessel is constantly too high. Yes, now see, according to the studies and according to the scientific data, the studies reveal that there's a normal range at which your blood pressure should be there. That means the pressure at which your blood should flow. If it is less than that, then the person suffers low blood pressure, and if it is more than that range, then a person suffers high blood pressure. And nowadays, children, we all have digital machines, blood pressure measuring machines at home, so we do not need to go to the doctor all the time for getting it measured. And when we measure it digitally, you get a manual also. Yes, and that manual indicates and tells you about the range, when it is too low, when it is too high, when it is normal. Yes, you have a proper table telling you that. So you can look at it and you can see that in which category you or whatever, whoever is there, whose blood pressure you're measuring falls. So you get to know that whether the pressure is normal or it is high or it is low. Actually, the pressure should be in normal range, but because of some issues, sometimes the pressure with which it flows, or it you can say it hits the wall of the arteries, that varies, and because of this variation, sometimes it is at high, the pressure becomes high. The primary way that high blood pressure causes harm is by increasing the workload of the heart and blood vessels, making them work harder, less and less efficiently. Now just understand, if I just understand a very simple way, if I give you supposing if I tell you to write 5 sentences about your school, you'll be able to write, everyone will write and everyone will make a lot of effort in writing those 5 sentences. But if I tell you that you have to write about 100 pages about your school, so the pressure increases on you and you have to think a lot and lot and lot. Yes, so in which case do you think you'll be able to write better, those 5 sentences or your 100 pages result will be better? Which way?
Ma'am, 5 sentences.
Yes, of course, that is very obvious. Yes, when you write 5 sentences, you will just think and you will write something which is very very important about your school, and you will try to cover all the things in those 5 points. You'll write so beautifully. But when say, like supposing out of your capacity you have to do the work, automatically your efficiency decreases and the result that you will be showing will also be affected. The same way here, when the pressure is high, then the work of the heart is more. It has to work more. And the same way, the arteries in which the blood is flowing, the vessels in which the blood is flowing, they also get affected. So this is a harm which is caused not in one day, but generally if the blood pressure is very high, then this can cause damage, and it can also create problem in the heart. Now, over a period of time, the force of high blood pressure damages the delicate tissues inside the arteries. This further leads to the start of atherosclerosis. So when they rupture, this is called atherosclerosis, and this is not good. If anything inside your body, tissues and etc., they are getting damaged. This is not something. This is not something good. Fine. So that is why it's better that from initial stage only take care of your heart. Take care of your heart. Eat good things, and moreover, like your diet should be proper so that these problems are not faced. Sometimes in an early person in the family is advised to get his or her ECG done. ECG stands for electrocardiogram. Now in the diagram you can see on page number 129, you can see the ECG report. You can see some zigzag lines. These zigzag lines actually indicate the you can say in the form of in electromagnetic in rays form, you can see that how it is the waveform. You can see that which way your heart is working. Yes, so it gives us an idea about that whether the heart is functioning properly or not. Now when your ECG report is, see, for us it is just a simple wave structure, but for the doctors they understand that yes, is it proper or is it improper. Yes, so that indicates that your heart is functioning properly or not. Is there any problem with your heart, or is your heart okay? So ECG stands for electrocardiogram. The report of the ECG usually looks like a graph, like if we draw a graph in the waveform, the same way. On a strip of paper, this graph helps the doctor to understand whether the heart of the patient is working properly or not. If not, then she can identify the part that has a problem and advise medication, exercise, or further investigation. Generally, when people suffer heart attack, when they suffer a lot of pain, then ECG is done, of course, immediately, so that it gives a result. It tells you that immediately tells that there is a problem, there is a severe problem with the heart. So these are the cases. And if initially at the initial level, if from the starting, if you take care of the heart by eating proper diet, not eating too much of the oily food, avoiding the junk food, then of course it is better for your heart and for your body also. Now next, is any problem, children?
No, ma'am.
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Is it clear?
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Now children, we are going to talk about the last topic, and that is excretion. If you remember, when we started with the chapter, I told you that this chapter is divided into two parts, that is transportation and excretion, in plants and in human beings. So we have covered the part transportation, and we have talked about the transportation in plants, and we have also talked about the transportation in human beings. Now we'll be talking about the other half of the chapter, and that is excretion, which is a very important process, that waste material from your body. As till now we have understood that there are waste, as we need a lot of material from outside, lot of substances, and they are utilized by the body, which give us energy. Now for the ones which are not required by the body, which are harmful for the body, they need to be removed out. Their removal from the body is very, very important. If they keep lying in our body, then they can cause harm, they can be toxic. Yes, if for a longer period of time they remain in our body, it is very, very hazardous, and then the person needs to be taken to the doctor. Fine. So it is important. That is why now, if you take it on a serious note, understand, if maybe sometimes you have visited the doctor, the doctors and people, elder people at your home, they tell you that if you need to go to the washroom, then do not avoid. In winters, generally people do this, they just keep sitting, they don't want to go to the washroom because of the cold, but this should not be done. If you want to use the toilet, you should use the toilet as and when required, because if you just keep those waste material in your body, you do not let them out, then they are going to create problem in the body. So when the cells perform their functions, certain waste products are released. As I told you, these are toxic. Toxic means, anyone?
Ma'am, it's like, ma'am,
Poisonous. Yes,
harm,
and
ma'am.
they need to be
Ma'am,
removed from the
poisonous.
body. The process of removal of the waste produced in the cells of living organism is called excretion. So the process of removal of the waste from the body is called excretion. The parts involved in excretion from excretory organs. Let us now learn about the removal of waste from the animals and plants. So first we'll be talking about the animals, and then we'll move to plants. In plants also the excretion is important, and they do not have proper excretory organs as in human beings, but then too there also the excretion process takes place. Now excretion in animals. Animals do not retain their waste product in their body. If they do so, the waste will cause poisoning in them, as I told you. Different types of waste are thrown out in different forms, as explained below. The first one is carbon dioxide. Now, as we have just learned that oxygen is taken and carbon dioxide needs to be removed out. So how is it removed out? Let's see. It is removed as a waste from the body through the lungs during exhalation process. Inhalation, taking in oxygen, exhalation, giving out carbon dioxide rich air from inside. So first one, that is carbon dioxide, how it is given out, how it is released out through our
Lungs. Lungs.
lungs help, but how?
Ma'am,
Ma'am
nose.
knows.
Yes,
Ma'am,
through the nose it is
Ma'am,
given
tail.
out. Yes. Then the second one is stools or feces. Stools or feces, undigested food is removed during digestion through the digestive organs. As you have very well studied the whole digestive system in lesson 2, and you well know about the excretory organs, that when the waste material is the food which is not digested or undigested, which is not required by the body, it is expelled out through the excretory organs, through the anus it is given out. So that is feces or stools. Now the next third one is the sweat. From where does the sweat is released out?
Ma'am, skin.
Very good, from the skin. Yes,
Skin.
correct, very good. So we know that water kept in an earthen pot is cooler. This is because the water evaporates from the pores of the pot, which causes cooling. Similarly, we sweat, and I have talked about this when we were doing transpiration. I said that when we sweat, our body becomes
Cold.
Cool.
Blood.
Cool.
yes, yes. So when we sweat, it helps to cool our body. Our skin has very tiny sweat gland. Now, see, children, if you see, you will not be able to see the pores. Yes, but if you observe it minutely, you will see that from where the hair come out. If you just look at the base, look at all of you look at your hand. Just look at carefully, and you see that from where the hair arises, at the base of it, you can see some pore-like structures. Yes. Now, they open on the outside through tiny pores. They collect waste like water, urea, and salts in the form of sweat and excrete them. Mammals such as dog and cat sweat from their snout and the pads on their paws. Horses sweat from their armpits. So there are different ways in different animals, but when we talk about human beings, we see that we have our skin. Skin has very tiny pores, which we generally cannot see, but we observe very carefully. We see that hair come out, and from the base we you see that from there the sweat in the like more of it is water. It contains urea also, and it contains other salts also. It contains other excretory products. So this is the waste from the skin is given out through the skin, that is sweat. Now you can see human skin showing sweat gland. Just have a look at the diagram, children. Hair follicle, can you see? You can see the hair, you can see the hair follicle, and then the same way you can see the sweat gland, green colored coil structure. You can see that is the sweat gland. So through this, the gland, the sweat is given out. If you see in the body, if you see in the diagram, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you don't have to do much with the other things which are given. Just pay attention that this is how it is placed. Like this is the structure of the skin. Here, if you cut here this part, you will be able to see the structure of the skin. So this is the structure. How the we see the hair on the upper skin, but then they are embedded inside. So that is what you see, that is hair follicle. Yes, and then you see the hair which comes out of the skin. That is why you can see the conical structures coming out. So that is the hair that we see externally. Now, nitrogen containing waste. So the first one was
Nitrogen.
first one was
Carbon dioxide.
carbon
Ma'am,
dioxide.
carbon dioxide.
Yes.
Carbon dioxide.
Yes. Second one,
Ma'am, stools or faces?
Stools or faces.
stools or feces. Yes. Third one,
Sweat.
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 yes. Then the fourth one is
Ma'am, nitrogen containing.
nitrogen containing waste. We are going to
Water.
These are formed by the liver to take care of toxic products formed on the breaking down of the proteins by the cell. So when the protein, we take carbohydrate and all. So when the protein break, these are released, and they are released so that they are formed by the liver to take care of the toxic products. The way in which waste chemicals are removed from the body of an animal depends on the availability of water. Now, aquatic, now a little careful. Aquatic animal, the animals that live in
Ma'am,
Water.
water. Yes. Yes. So the animals like fish you have, they excrete cell waste containing nitrogen in gaseous form, that is ammonia, which dissolves in water. So since they are living in water, so they excrete out in the form of ammonia, and this ammonia, it gets dissolved in water. Some land animals like birds, lizards, snakes, etc., they excrete a semi-solid white compound, that is uric acid. Semi-solid means it's not exactly solid and it's not exactly liquid. So it is a semi-solid form of thing which is called uric acid. The major nitrogen containing excreted product in human is urea. It is removed mostly through urine. So we need to go for urination from time to time, and this is how it is removed. So in our cases, it is given out through urine, and in case of aquatic animal, it is given out in gaseous form, and that gets dissolved in the water and is given out. Fine. And in other cases, like in birds and lizards and all, it is given out in the form of uric acid. So I hope it is clear to everyone. You are understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, so now we talk about excretory system. Now, as I have told you that this is done, this is done, this is done, but how it is actually done? I have told you initially that there is a proper system in our body. Yes, for like reproductive system, digestive system, then we have a skeletal system, we have muscular system, we have nervous system. The same way, children, we have excretory system. There is a whole system which, like, there's a combination of organs which work together in combination, and the excretion process is possible. So let's learn about that. Human beings have some excretory organs like sweat glands under the skin for excreting liquid waste, the anus, as I have already told you, which is a part of the digestive system, and the nostrils for excreting gaseous waste. They, however, do not form separate excretory system. Therefore, the human excretory system mostly comprises the urinary system. The kidney, uterus, urinary bladder and urethra form the human urine system. So it's not like these are also there, but since the waste is like passed out from different parts, so this we have already learned. Now this, the other part, the left out part, will be basically learning about the urine. Now let's see, as I read, I tell you, you'll look at the diagram also at the same time. The two kidneys are located on either side of the vertebral column. Now vertebral column, the back side, all of you touch your this thing, neck, and a little lower portion of the neck. Can you find some raised structures? Just take your hand till where it can reach. Can you find? Can you feel some raised structure? One after the other?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And if you touch at your back also, it is a continuous. You can see. Can you observe? Just see. A continuous structure, bone-like structure. You can see from here till your back portion, lower back portion. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yes. So this is your
Yes,
vertebral.
ma'am.
Yes, this is your vertebral column. Fine. Or your vertebra. It is not a continuous bone, but it is made up of several small bones. Like this. Okay. And it goes till the lower back portion. So at both the side on the lower back portion, you can say vertebral column, the kidney is a reddish brown bean shape. Have you all seen the rajma kidney beans?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's just like it's the shape of the kidney beans. That is why actually they are called kidney beans. So the kidney is a reddish brown bean shaped organ. Each kidney is attached to a thin long tube, the ureter. Now have a look at it. Can you see the kidneys, right and left, all of you? When you see, only then say yes.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And now tell me, as we have discussed the working of the heart, so who is going to take the blood from the kidney?
Ma'am.
Hope you are
Ma'am. Ma'am. Inferior canoveva.
very,
Vena cava. Eva.
Vena cava.
Inferior cava.
Why?
Ma'am, because ma'am this
Because it's below the heart.
ma'am this vein,
Very good.
ma'am this vein collects
Claps.
blood from the
Claps for 7th A. Very good. Good. Okay. So children, I have told you about the positioning of the kidney, and I've told you about a little bit. I've told you about the inferior vena cava. Fine. Now, since the time is up, we'll be discussing about the rest of the chapter in the next class. Fine. Till that, you will revise. As you are answering today, I want you to attend the class and to answer every day like this only. Fine. So if you have any problem, you can inform me. Until we meet again, you take care of yourselves. Keep telling your problems on WhatsApp. Take care. Bye bye, children.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.